to a parcel detail page. So we'll run an address here. Oh, let me do a different one here. So there you can see I've got a hit there, so I can just hit enter and it's going to jump to that parcel. It runs off of basically whatever you see that's selected in blue right there. So it's jumping me into the result page. That's the record that I would like. The first time you visit the parcel detail page on a device, the quick pick tool is going to be popped out. So this little toolbox comes in and out. It's always off to the right on the side of the screen. We did this to get away from the buried links all over the site. If you've driven the old site, you knew there were links across the top, there are links across the bottom, there are embedded links in some of the headings throughout. Many people didn't know that there was information or documents attached to those. And so we wanted to build this little toolbox where here you have your print, email, custom report feature, and contact us. This custom report feature now allows you to pick more than just the property detail page, which is what we're looking at. You can actually click as many of these as you want and build a custom PDF for a report on that property. So your elevation certificate, all these documents are in here as long as they are available for that property. So encourage people to try that out. Obviously, I'm already on a parcel here. I had already entered an address, so I do not need to enter anything further to jump from this parcel right into our tax estimator. It will pass that parcel ID or that address right in. It will do the same for comparable sales. This is a brand new tool we did not have before. This replaces the sales query that literally just gave you a giant dump of every sale within the area, but they weren't necessarily that comparable. You might have a home that's 2,500 square feet and it's pulling up everything from 500 square feet to 4,000 square feet. So this allows you to significantly compress that range with some default settings. And I will jump back to this after we walk through this page. You can jump right to the map search page, which is going to give you a full size map display of this parcel. This is your smaller interactive view here, right on the detail page. If you've used the old site, you know the map used to be at the bottom. We've brought that to the top so you can interact with it right away and you can make sure that you're on the right parcel that you want it to be on. You've got your trim notice here. You've got your link to the tax bills. You've got exemption status check. You can apply for an exemption on this property, change mailing address, request a property review. This is new, so this will bring up a form. We'll already populate it with the parcel number and the address. And if you would like someone to come out and an appraiser to come out and either remeasure your home, inspect it, maybe you've enclosed a porch, those types of things, we're happy to do that. And that's a simple way for people to make that request. We've got the FEMA letter, so that's the 50% rule information. It can be pulled right there if your property is in a special flood hazard area. And then we have a radius search that will deal if you want to create mailing labels within a certain radius of a property. So this is good for different public notices and things of that nature. You can set the distance of that radius.
Or you can download it to Excel, Mike.
Correct.
Yeah, so if you don't want labels.
So I'm going to close that toolbox. We're going to roll down the page. You'll see you've got a summary over here. Wherever you see blue, that's effectively a link that will take you out to more information. Likely has a hover over as well. In this case, you can see it's giving you the full description of the property use code, because sometimes if you're on a mobile device, it may be clipped a little bit, but when you hover over, it gives you the full. And then if I click that, it would jump me out to all the use codes and would scroll up and show me that that is that particular use code per Department of Revenue and our county codes. So I'm going to jump back over. You can see the legal, the site address, mailing address, all those things. These boxes here will aggregate. So if you had, say it's an apartment complex that I had up as a parcel and it was 4 buildings, and it had, you know, 100 units, it would aggregate that building count and the living unit count and the square footages. So that these, just keep in mind, these are summaries of the aggregates of all the structures on the property. Where if you want to see the individual detail, you'll see that as you come down the page and you get to the building. Before I jump down, I want to show you these jump links. So these are each section of the detail page, and they will jump you to that portion of the page quickly. If you want to go back up down here in the bottom right, that will jump you back to the top. But so you can quickly leap to any of those areas on the site, or you can simply scroll down the page. You'll notice these little carrots, there's accordions all over the place. So when you print out this detail page, it will print out as what you see is what you get. So if you have certain areas collapsed, those are not going to print. And if they're expanded, they will print. And that's important because as you come down the page, you can see here we've rolled up some of the value history. We have many years of value history. So if I turn that up to all, you can see it's going all the way back to 2001 on this particular property. But we've limited it by default to 5 years so that we save a few trees if people decide to print, and it's a lot less scrolling. So you can see we haven't moved the cheese too badly on the detail page. Most of the fields are in the same place. We did modify the homestead layout here and actually added an additional year, so you see a little better picture of the homestead picture on the subject property. And then if you have any additional property exemptions or classifications, they would be listed over here, such as an ag exemption or a working waterfront on a marina, something like that. Now, as you come across here, these are all miscellaneous things. That's the last recorded deed. That's a link to the clerk. And this will take you to the current FEMA map for the subject property. And this will check if there's an elevation certificate on this parcel, and it will pull that up. Another way to get that is obviously to just go right through and use the custom report tool as well. This will take you to the plat booking page. You've got your value information here for the most recent year, which is 2022, our history, tax information, our little warning about you know, being careful on a change of ownership, because obviously here in Florida we have the Save Our Homes cap and the 10% non-homestead cap, and those caps do reset on any change of ownership. So that's a little warning there. This will jump you to the tax bill, the most recent one. Obviously the 22s have not come out yet. Those will be released by the tax collector in early November. The last millage rate, the 2022s have not been finalized yet, so those are not there yet. And then there is your tax district. As you come down, we've expanded the sale history. The sale history now has more fields that we've exposed. Grantor, grantee are available. And we've done some smarter things with some of the qualifications. You've got more hoverovers here. And if you had a multi-parcel sale, you would actually see a Q with an M or a U with an M, indicating that that parcel is qualified or unqualified, but it may also be multi-parcel. A lot of people had requested that we aggregate the land area, because a lot of times, for example, here's a perfect example. This is a single family 65 by 120 lot. So we're valuing it on a front foot basis. That's what the method is, front foot. And it's a 65-foot wide lot. And so there's our unit value is 2,100 per front foot. There's a very slight adjustment on that and it arrives at the adjusted value. Well, this aggregates the actual acreage and the square footage of that lot, because that is something that is requested quite frequently. As we move down to the structural elements, you'll see here's the building. In this case, it's a single family residence. You have your living square footage, your gross areas, and your structural element breakdown over here. Any extra features listed in this area. This layout is generally similar to what you're used to seeing on the prior website. And then we've spent a lot of time perfecting our permit data with, here in Pinellas County, we have 24 different municipalities, plus the unincorporated county. So it's a lot to interact with, and we've been trying to automate that process as best we can to get that data into our system as efficiently as possible and as accurately as possible. So these links have been modified. We've had to do a lot of work at the back end to try to ensure that those links are not dead links, because sometimes those jurisdictions move their URLs around or change vendors. So we try to stay on top of that. If you run into any that you're having issues with, again, give us some feedback on that, or shoot us an email to Mike@PCPAO.GOV, and we monitor that Mike mail account, and we will address those and triage that as necessary.